How does the Gulag compare to other forced labor systems? How does the Gulag compare to other forced labor systems? This question takes us into a dark chapter of history, where millions faced unimaginable hardships. The Gulag was a vast network of forced labor camps in the Soviet Union, primarily established under Joseph Stalin's leadership from the late 1920s to the mid-1950s. Its main purpose was to imprison political dissidents and others labeled as enemies of the state. Estimates suggest that around 18 million people passed through these camps during its operation. One key feature of the Gulag was its scale and purpose. It was designed to support Stalin's industrialization efforts and collectivization policies. Prisoners were subjected to brutal conditions, including extreme cold, overcrowding, and inadequate food. Many were forced to work in remote areas like Siberia and the Arctic, engaging in manual labor that was often grueling and dangerous. When we compare the Gulag to other forced labor systems, the differences and similarities become apparent. For instance, Nazi concentration camps were primarily focused on mass extermination during World War II. While both systems involved extreme brutality, the Gulag aimed at economic development rather than outright extermination. Another comparison can be made with the Chinese Laogai system, which also involved forced labor camps. Established after the Communist Party took power in China, the Laogai was used for political control and economic purposes. However, it emphasized re-education more than large-scale industrial projects, which was a hallmark of the Gulag. Historically, other forced labor systems existed in ancient civilizations and colonial regimes, often focusing on infrastructure projects or agricultural work. However, the Gulag and similar modern systems were distinct due to their scale and the political context in which they operated. From a communist viewpoint, the Gulag was seen as a tool for enforcing rapid industrialization and collectivization. Yet, this perspective often overlooks the severe human rights abuses and mass killings associated with the Gulag. Critics argue that such systems lead to authoritarianism and human rights violations, while supporters might claim that the Gulag represented an extreme deviation from true communist ideals. In summary, the Gulag stands out as a unique example of a forced labor system, marked by its scale, purpose, and the political climate of its time. While it shares some traits with other forced labor systems, its focus on economic development under a communist regime sets it apart.